If you're one of the chosen, you've likely faced suffering, mistreatment, and disrespect. Life may seem confusing, with challenges that feel almost supernatural. But take heart, because these experiences are just part of a greater purpose that is coming. In this video, we're diving into what it truly means to be chosen, why these struggles are not in vain, and how they prepare you for something extraordinary. Watch until the end and discover the deeper meaning behind your journey. In Matthew 16:24, Jesus tells us plainly, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." This is not a comfortable invitation. Jesus doesn't promise an easy path. Instead, he calls us to deny ourselves. So what does it mean to deny yourself and take up your cross in order to follow Jesus? In Jesus' time, the cross was a symbol of suffering, sacrifice, and even death. To follow Jesus means we have to lay aside our own desires, our own agendas, and be willing to endure hardships, just like he did. For some of us, it might mean giving up a habit that isn't pleasing to God, or choosing not to pursue something we want if it leads us away from him. It's about surrendering our will to God's will and being willing to say, "Not my will, but yours be done," just as Jesus did in the Garden of Gethsemane. Think about Jesus' disciples. Peter and Andrew were fishermen, and when Jesus called them, they left their nets and followed him immediately. Matthew 4:18-20. They left behind their livelihoods, their families, everything they knew. This kind of sacrifice isn't just for people in biblical times. Today, there are people who give up high-paying jobs to serve others, or face rejection from friends and family because they choose to follow Jesus. It's never easy, but it's always worth it. In Luke 14:28, Jesus talks about counting the cost before deciding to follow him, just like a builder counts the cost before building a tower. Jesus wants us to know that following him isn't something to take lightly. One often overlooked reason why the chosen ones experience extraordinary hardships is the presence of spiritual attacks. The Bible tells us there is a spiritual warfare going on. It's not against flesh and blood, but against the powers of darkness. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. This topic alone deserves its own deep dive, which I will cover in another video. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to know more about spiritual warfare and the tools that Jesus has provided for our protection. The cost of following Jesus might mean losing friends, facing persecution, or giving up our own dreams. But Jesus also promises an incredible reward. In Mark 10:29-30, he says, "Truly I say to you, there is no one who has left house or brothers, or sisters, or mother or father, or children or lands, for my sake and for the gospel, who will not receive 100-fold now in this time, and in the age to come, eternal life." The reward of following Jesus is far greater than anything we might lose. It's the reward of true peace, of real purpose, and of eternal life with God. I remember a time in my own life when I had to choose between a career that made me a lot of money and a call that God had placed in my heart. It was hard. I struggled with it for years. But in the end, when I finally let go, I experienced a kind of freedom and closeness to God, even at a cost of making a lot less money. So, what about you? What might Jesus be asking you to let go of today? Are there areas of your life that you're holding on to, comfort, status, control, that are keeping you from fully following him? Jesus doesn't ask us to carry the cross alone. He walks alongside us, and he promises to be with us in every step. Following Jesus is anything but easy. It may cost you your comfort, your plans, or even your relationships, but the rewards are beyond anything you can imagine. The cost of discipleship is nothing compared to the joy of knowing Christ and being part of his kingdom. As the chosen, we are not just called to live peacefully and wait for heaven. We are called to partake in the spiritual battle, to stand firm, and to be lights in this dark world. If this video has helped you in any way, please like and subscribe for more future contents that may continue to help you grow in the Spirit. Until next time, be blessed.